everyone, and welcome to our get together called Tarot for Kindness. For a moment there, I had a blank. What did we call it again? It's the end of my work day, so I'm a little brain dead, but it makes for good readings actually when you're a little bit tired. Your intuition, you don't have any filters, and your intuition comes up. So it's actually kind of good for having a tarot reading. I'm Madame Pamita. This is my friend Ivan Subotin. Do I say it in proper pronunciation, by the way?
Subbotin.
Subotin.
Yeah,
Subotin.
yeah.
So my friend Ivan Subotin. And he's in Kyiv. It's 5 a.m. in the morning there. I'm in Los Angeles. It's 7 p.m. at night. But we get together. I think we make sacrifices. You have to wake up very, very, very early. I have to work after my normal work day. I have to work another extra bit. But we do it because we love Ukraine and we believe in Ukraine and we love Ukrainian seniors and we love what we do, right?
Oh yeah, we love what we do.
Speaking of
I
which,
have I have a proof.
speaking of which, we love what we do. Ivan is also, if you don't know this, Ivan is a musician and he has written a song, many songs, but he's written a song about, why don't you tell everybody about your song and then tell the story of the song and then we'll play the video, the music video.
Sure, I will be brief. During many months, I wanted to write something that I can call an unofficial anthem of the group of people of us who do what we do, who help grannies, and now I have an ability to do this because I had some growth in technical issues, so I bought a MIDI controller, a device which allows to record the guitar sound into the computer directly. I bought a microphone, and along with a new software where I can process the guitar sound clearly and make some effects, add some drums, bass line, and so on. At last, the technical level of the song is good. It's not like a studio record, but it's much closer to it than my previous songs. So I wrote it, and it has a beautiful text, and it perfectly describes the condition of the soul of a compassionate people. So this song is quite autobiographical for me, and of course, it's called "We Love What We Do," and I am offered to hear it right now because it's very optimistic. It's written in a pop punk style, like Green Day, something like this. Also, you can listen to it at my YouTube channel, Silent Shelters. So let's
Yes.
go and let's charge ourselves with some fun emotions at the
All right, we're
beginning.
going to watch the video. Yes, this video is dedicated to all of you guys who have made donations, who have had readings or made donations on your own to Ivan, or done something, shared something. And if you share this video, that's doing something, So if we'll give you the link. There's the link right there at
Yeah,
Silent
I
Shelters.
want the sun to be a virus in the internet because
Viral, not a virus.
it should be contagious because
Yeah.
what is the better virus than compassionate
Yeah,
compassion? Yeah.
compassion. Yeah, compassion. All right. So we're going to watch a little video. It's about 3 minutes long. It's a
Yeah.
great music video. And then we'll be back here and I have something funny to say. I'll say what my contribution was to this video. You know what it is. All right. Are you guys ready? Here we go.
You spend your nights in anxious dreams. Next day, see the sun. You look behind, it makes you think of what you've never done. How many days do we have to stroll until we fall? Who knows? But we will take them all. The door of someone's always closed. We use master key. Don't shut yourself inside a cage. It's not what it should be. And this imaginary line that you're afraid of grows. That's what you know. What makes you lost? Turn yourself to the east. Go get your mind released. We'll come the same way. What you thought we were betrayed. It's been a while, and we forget all the places where we stood. We love what we do. We love what we do. With blood we heal all broken songs, but this is the work of God. But if you're here, at least we try to fix what's torn apart. How calories of yesteryear are full of hope and grace. Of those who chose to be yesterday. Turn yourself to the east. Go get your mind released. We'll come the same way. What you thought we were betrayed. It's been a while, and we forget all the places where we stood. We love what we do. We love what we do. We love what we do. We love what we do.
Oh, that's so awesome. So awesome. Let's get it back to here. I want to make sure this doesn't. Okay. Wonderful. Oh my gosh, that video. Look at it. Love what says
Yeah,
that's
I
incredible.
see. Yeah,
This,
at last the song is worthy. Hello, John Paul. At
yes.
last.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so my contribution to this song, can I say what my contribution was? Yvonne asked me, because I'm a musician too, and Yvonne asked me to do the bass part and the percussion on this song. And I am so dang busy that I'm just like, I want to, but I can't, I don't have any time. And so, Yvonne, my contribution was I didn't do it. So then you had to figure out how to make it happen, and you did. So
Yeah.
you learned all the techniques of having that. Oh, Muggle 1983 says beautiful. So nice. Thank you so much for your kind words to Yvonne. I have no contribution to this. In other words, I'm making a joke. My joke is that by not participating, he got to learn how to use all this techie stuff, which you wouldn't have done if I had helped. So
Yeah, I think that I would do this, but not so fast, of course.
yes. We're doing what's called this is what we're doing it about. I loved by the way, that granny with the bread who's smelling the chleb, you know, in
Hmm.
the video looks just like my babusia, looks like
Oh,
my
really?
grandmother. Yeah, like her face, her eyes.
It's not our granny. It was
Yeah,
taken on Shutterstock.
yeah. But she really looks like my family, big time. Yeah. So pretty, so beautiful. You know, that's the one thing about Ukrainian seniors that we don't in America. I'm just going to speak. I don't think we look at our elders so much as like, oh, they're so beautiful. especially in Los Angeles, let's just say Los Angeles, everyone's trying to get rid of their wrinkles and trying to look like they're 20 years old when they're 80. And we don't have the culture that really appreciates the elders or honors the elders. But Ukrainian culture, I would say Eastern European culture, has a real honor and respect and love for the wisdom of the elders and super respect. I mean, of course, you got everybody individual, they're going to be who they are. But I think generally, culturally, there's more respect for the elders. Don't you think? Traditionally, let's say.
And I have to tell one more last thing. So I wanted to switch on some rock in the beginning of the stream. So we should rock right now all together. Let's
now.
do our work and make this day brilliant. I'm
Yeah.
full of energy to make 100 deliveries at least.
Yeah, let's do it. So, with your donations, if you would like a reading today, you can donate via PayPal, you can donate via Venmo, or you can donate if you're on YouTube, you can donate the super love or whatever. There's a little dollar sign at the bottom. $10 per card, whatever you want to donate. Yeah, there's Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, or Super Chat. That's what it's called, Super Chat. Used to be Super Like, I think, back in the day on YouTube. You can do those donations there, $10 per card. So you could get a one card reading for $10, two card reading $20, three card reading $30. And 100% of your money goes to feed Ukrainian seniors. As soon as we finish this, I go over, I send the money straight away to Ivan, and he goes buys groceries today because it's 5:15 in the morning there. So he's got this morning to buy the groceries and deliver those groceries to the seniors. And you saw some of those seniors in the video. Some of those beautiful seniors are the ones that you guys are helping with your donations. $40 buys 2 weeks of groceries for a senior in Ukraine. And it means the difference between them having to choose between medicine and food, or having even food to eat in some cases. Sometimes there's no food in the house. And this makes all the difference, having these 2 weeks of groceries to make their food stretch a little bit longer, what they do have stretch a little bit longer. So we'll see if we have any. If you have made a donation, make a comment and let me know. You can make a comment in the chat on, we're on Twitter or whatever it's called now, X. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. And you can make a donation on all of these places that you see. You can use the QR code if you like. Once you make your donation, be sure to go into the chat and let us know, and let me know your question in that chat. So you can let me know how much you donated, where you donated, and what your question is, so that I can do a reading for you. Really nice. Or you could just make a donation even if you don't want a reading. We've had people do that. Leave a little extra, put a little tip in, put in a little extra money so that we have some more money to send to those seniors. Yeah. Do you want to say something?
No.
Why don't we, while we're waiting for somebody to come in, why don't we and make a donation? Why don't you tell us about the lyrics of that song and what it is all about?
Somewhere you have to read between the lines to get the sense, because I don't like the direct messages to the people. I'm a poet, and my poetry in Russian is really good, and I was quite famous about 15 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. I visited many cities of Ukraine with some contests. I won some of them. I knew all the political society of Ukraine. Young people, very interesting, but of course, since they were poets, a lot of them were quite depressive. You know what the poet nature is. You maybe know. I never thought about myself that I am a real poet, because I'm too optimistic to be a real poet. But I have the second nature, that that comes to me sometimes. So it's like not me at all, because in general, I'm a very optimistic person that prefers to stay on the ground with both of my feet and to achieve goals, to take care of my family. And this is actually not somebody you can call a poet. Just believe me, I know these guys. Yeah. And so my poetry in Russian is excellent. It's really excellent. And it's very hard to be as good in English, of course, because for obvious reasons. I can talk, yeah, but literature language is something completely different, of course, because I miss some depth in thoughts to express in English. In this song, somewhere it turned out good. For example, mm, our galleries of yesteryears are full of open graves of those who chose to stay in yesterday. Yeah, so you can you can take it as it is, or you can read between the lines and find some other sense for yourself. So I think that poetry should be a little bit foggy or mystic. So I don't like to I don't like any sharp lines. It there these lines have to be blurry, so you can draw uh, you can draw the whole picture by yourself. You know what I mean?
In general, though, the song, you can talk about in general what the song is about, not in detailed. Wow, this is great. Thank you, Muggle 1983.
Thank you,
Um,
thank you. Yeah,
so in general, it is about people who are compassionate showing up, and it's called This Is What We Do, and it's about all you guys like Muggle 1983 doing a compassionate thing that has makes the world a better place, right?
of course, of course.
Yeah.
And it's about the satisfaction of a good work.
It's about the feeling that you've done something good and you've made a difference. We really do feel it with your
It's a very pleasant feeling.
grannies. Yeah, we really feel it with your grannies because we get to see them. And so we know that it's like you donate to the Red Cross, you don't know who you've helped, but you guys, when you make these donations, you can actually see the people that you're helping. You just have to go to Ivan's Facebook, and every day he posts pictures of the people that he's helped. So you can actually see them and see their stories and get to know them a little bit. It's wonderful. And they always, always, always send blessings, don't they? Thank
Oh
yous
yeah.
and blessings to
Oh yeah.
everyone.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
even stopped posting a video with their thanks because you know there are so much of this stuff that it could be overwhelming. Yeah,
Yeah.
so now I post things that are called advice of the day.
Yeah.
So I changed the direction a little, but soon I will get back to the regular to average videos.
All right.
So many.
Well, I love them all anyway I love the advice as well, but they're always so grateful for everything that you guys are doing by making these donations.
You would also be grateful if you appeared in the same situation, believe me.
Of course, all that they go through. And Yvonne tells you the stories of what they're going through. So there you can add Yvonne on Facebook. If you want to make a donation, you can make a donation on YouTube, on Venmo, on all of the places, PayPal, Zelle, or you super chat on YouTube. All right, so Muggle 1983, wonderful. Okay, let's do your reading. Thank you so much, Muggle 1983. I'm going to put down that I want to put you on the list that we thank at the end. All right, let's do your reading. So the question you have, are there any new roles or promotions coming up for me at my current company? We can also ask Muggle 1983 what will help you get those new roles or promotions. What do you need to look out for? What do you need to, is there anything that you can do to make that, open that door for yourself? Wonderful. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look. Okay. Okay, we've got a very interesting story here. I love this story. It's interesting and it's got a lot of positive things for you about you getting this promotion, you getting this raise, this move up in your company. First card that I drew is the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is a card that shows basically an archway in a church being built. And we have three people gathered around this archway. There's the craftsperson who is carving the stone. There's the architect who has the plans. And then there's the monk who's the guy who's paying for all of it. When we see this card show up in a reading, oftentimes it means being cooperative, working well on teams, having very harmonious teams, and producing good results, like having a good result here. The Three Pentacles often represent coins, gold coins, or money. So this is a very positive card in terms of career and business for you making money. Advice to you would be this: work as part of a team. And if you can create harmony in that team, if you can be a member of a team that works very smoothly, that things go very easily, you're taking on your role, but you're working very well with the others, that is going to be seen by the higher ups that are there. So I think what you want to be doing is, if it's possible, and like I don't know what your career is, but if there are ways that you can make yourself part of a team, or maybe even add a team to your responsibilities, take on that challenge of being a part of a new team or getting the team to be more harmonious, leading in some ways. I really get an energy of like leadership. It doesn't mean formally you're going to be in a management position or upper level, C-level or executive level position formally, but you can be in leadership wherever you are. Maybe you are at that level. I don't know what your career is or where you are, but wherever you are, it's about making the teams harmonious and getting people to work together harmoniously. And that is going to be noticed by the higher ups, that you are the one that's making that well-oiled machine produce a great result. Second card that I pulled up is the Ten of Cups. Very happy outcomes with Ten of Cups. We have this family down below. We've got a big rainbow above their head. It's got 10 golden goblets. The cups represent the idea of the heart and fulfillment. 10 cups, is like the ultimate fulfillment. This is a very, very happy card. It also sort of suggests that if your company has a family vibe to it. I don't know if the company is a family-run company, or if you can create in a bigger corporate environment more of a family feeling. That will also be noticed by the hires up and will help you to get into that higher up position that you're looking for, or that promotion. Bring happiness. Be positive and optimistic when you come to work. If it's all doom and gloom and naysayers and things like that, that's not really helping the situation. What you really want to get to is this idea that you're going to, like, come on, everybody, we can do it, or we can work together and do this. It's, again, a family working together. And this is also about working together. So whatever you do, is if you can add that group interactive element to your work situation, that's going to be seen positively. And also treating your coworkers like family in the good sense. I mean, sometimes families don't get along. I get it, but this is like a happy family in this. So how can we make this more into a happy family? Maybe it's as simple as, buying some donuts and leaving them in the break room, or doing some like act of kindness at work, and doing it just out of like really that pure, um, caring, I want to say from the heart place. You're not doing it like because you're trying to scheme, but you're actually doing it because you do love and appreciate the people that you work with. I think it has to be pretty genuine. So sometimes when we work in environments, we're not going to love everybody that we work with, just like in families. Maybe not everybody gets along in the family, but focus on the positives there. Focus on the people that you do like. And, yes, the collective benefits if you bring a box of donuts to work. But if you just sort of think about it as, I'm doing it for everyone because it brings everybody together and everyone can benefit, even the people that may not be the nicest or the most cooperative or all of those other things. But I will, in my mind, envision the ones that I do love and care about as I bring this treat or offer this thing or do something nice for everyone. I think that will also be, it will create that energy of the happy family. And that's what, will really help this situation. We've got two other really interesting cards showing up. So these two are interesting together because the first one, Four of Pentacles, can be sometimes like, and I really picked up on this, that it's really the company that's Four of Pentacles more than you. It can be like they're hanging on tightly to their money because they don't know what's going to happen or what the future of the company is, or they're trying to be thrifty or something like that. However, Four of Cups means there's an opportunity coming from some unexpected off to the side place. Meaning, even if they're saying that they don't have any way to give a raise or give a promotion, um, where there's a will, there's a way. In other words, where there's a sense that they will find it. They will find a way to give you that. But it's going to take for them thinking creatively. I almost want to say, oops, this card is really about like, we look at the typical thing, the mundane thing, what's in front of our face, and it doesn't really show up as anything very good or magical. It's just sort of average. But here we have this very magical cup. And I get like there's an opportunity that's going to come from a very left field kind of place. It's unexpected. And I do think they have to get creative. And I would say that you have the opportunity to help them be creative, maybe come up with a solution. If they say, we don't have enough money to give you a raise, I wouldn't accept that answer right away. Say to them, well, what if we can find some money? Or what if I can create more revenue will that help then pay for me to get a raise or help get a promotion for me? So I see that that's their thought. By the way, that Four of Pentacles, there's no money problems. It's just holding on very tightly to the money. So it's not a bad money card. It's not Five of Pentacles, but it's a card that is about like, oh, we're being thrifty, or we're being very careful with our money, or being extra cautious with our money. But I think there's a way that you want to, I'm really getting this message that it's like, if at first they say no, don't accept no as an answer. Say, well, let's see if we can come up with a way. How could we come up with a way for me to get this raise or this promotion, or what do I need to do? So I think there's a way that you can reply back to them that shows them how dedicated you are to the company and how you're willing to put in extra effort or do something or create something that will help both them and you. Last card I see, Four of Wands, very positive card. This is a card about many things, of course, as all tarot cards have lots of meanings, but one of the meanings of this card is public recognition. So this really points in the direction of there being some acknowledgement of what they see in you, that they do see that you're doing a good job, and they do recognize that. And this is a way of them actually acknowledging that you're doing a great job, would be promotion or raise or those sorts of things. But it's also a big motivator. This is what interesting thing. Maybe this is something that you talk to your supervisor or your boss or whoever about too. It's like if you're putting in that work and you're doing all of this that we talked about, um, and they're seeing that you're doing all this extra, by them rewarding you energetically, it will inspire others to work harder, be more invested, do more for the company, do all of that stuff that you are doing or you will be doing. So when I look at all of this, this is very positive about how they feel about you. I see that you have these opportunities to show your gifts and your skills at making the company successful. They're seeing you do it. But I think it's the issue of they're being very cautious with their money. And it's up to you to say, hey, how, if they immediately come back with a no, we can't do that right now, or we can't afford that right now, then your answer is not to go, oh, okay. Your answer is to go, well, what if I make you more money, or what if I bring more value, or how can I bring value, or you know, inflow of money or anything like that that will make it make sense for you to give me that raise? What would that look like? And get them to start thinking creatively, because I think there are ways that you can, in fact, 100%, I know there are ways that they can pay you more, but you have to come up with a creative idea. They have to come up with a creative idea. Really, they do. But you can certainly open that door by saying that statement. So, Muggle 1983, is that making any sense in regard to your job situation? Let me know in the comments.
Can I add some a couple of words here?
Mhm. Yes.
As far as I understood, the general advice is to be more persistent.
It's kind of persistent, but it's also showing them, it's a little bit like showing them that there is more than two options, right? It's this interesting thing that I learned actually when I learned magic, believe it or not. When I was learning and studying magic back in the 80s, one of my teachers was like, we live in this dualistic thinking of like black, white, yes, no. But oftentimes, when there's option 3, 4, 5, and 6, not just two options to things, but most
I
people.
also have an option here. I would give some sedative pills to a guy who holds the coin very tight. So he will calm down and you can easily grab the money. Of course, you can read between the lines here also. So don't
Yeah.
take it as it
Yeah,
is.
that will send you to jail. If you drug somebody, you'll go to jail.
But
You can't do it.
the general meaning here is to calm a person down.
Yeah, to calm someone. It also can be about showing them, like, look, I'm serious about this, and I want to give more value to you. And how can I make that happen? Like, if they make more money because you do something, I mean, I'm very simplistic about it, but if you're offering more value, let's just say in any way, then that more value can turn into that raise. It's like bringing attention to the value that you bring. So Muggle 1983, let us know if that makes any sense, what you're thinking, how that applies, and so on. Okay. Anybody else want a reading? We're doing readings by donation. Oh, thank you, John Paul. Oh, wonderful. So John Paul says, I haven't heard anything from C, and $40. Thank you so much. You're going to have a 4-card reading. Thank you so much. So I haven't heard anything from C, no call or text. I was wondering if C is in my league, is in a relationship, has a child. His resemblance was actor Viggo Mortensen. He had a mysticism I felt. Let's see what we see around it. Okay. All right. We see really positive things around it. Has the store closed down yet? Has the store closed down yet, John Paul? I know he was working at a shop that was closing. He might be in the middle of helping with all of that and just, yeah. Okay, let's see. You'll let me know in the chat. All right, let's take a look. Thank you so much for your donations, you guys. Thank you. This is really something very special. You're feeding a whole senior today. A senior is going to get 2 weeks of groceries because of you, John Paul, and 2 weeks, a 1.25 seniors because of Muggle 1983. Thank you so much, you guys. Okay. Oh, yeah. You know what? It's exactly as I suspected. It's not anything to do with you. It has to do with August 16th. Oh, the closing of the store is happening August 16th. That's what this is all about. That's why there hasn't been a phone call, there hasn't been a text, or there hasn't been anything communication. It's because of two things. Number one, things are up in the air. We have the moon card showing up. So moon card is a card that represents like not knowing or like I always think of this as like the corresponding card I would say in the tarot is the sun card. In the sun card we have a little kid. The little kid is out in the garden. The sun is shining. We can see everything. But when the moon is shining like it is right now, even a full moon, it's not as bright and as clear as the sun. You'll see a little bit, but even with a full moon, you may only see 5 or 10 feet in front of you, maybe 15 feet. You can't see 100 feet in front of you. You're not going to see, a far distance. So oftentimes the moon card means things are vague or undecided. And I don't think that is necessarily how he feels about you. I feel it's more about what's going on for him right now because he only has 2 more weeks at this job and then no job. So he may be in the place of like, I don't know where I'm going to go next. I got to find another job. What's going to happen to me? And I do think that this can be a card that when things feel like you can only see the step in front of you, but you can't make long range plans, right? You can only see, like if you're walking out in the moonlight, you can only see a little bit in front of you. You can't make a plan for what's happening, 50 yards ahead because you can't see that far. So I do get this feeling that he's dealing with this. And the cards that follow show this and demonstrate this. I mean, in a big way. Number one, it's the ending of his job. This is 10 of Swords. This is the ending of your job. And it's closing one chapter and opening up a new chapter. So that is always stressful for everyone whenever and especially, I mean, it's stressful even if we choose to quit a job and leave a job, but it's even more stressful when it wasn't the choice. Maybe we were content where we were and the job ends and we don't have a choice. And that can be very, very stressful, especially if you don't have a plan, which I don't see that he has a very clear plan in front of him. Now, what I do see is that this is going to be a positive move. So the Six of Swords is a card about leaving behind rough waters and going into smooth waters. But part of the action of the Six of Swords is to detach your boat from the dock. You cannot stay in these rough waters. So I do feel like he's in that rough water place, like he's feeling anxious and all of that, and doesn't have a clear plan for where he's going to go, and maybe clinging a little bit to that job because it's what is known. But ultimately, when he does set sail and go out into the world or go out and look for another job or find another job, it's going to be a much better situation and things will calm down. Things will definitely calm down. I have a feeling that while all of this is going on, we have Four of Swords, which is somebody, oftentimes this is like somebody being in retreat or somebody being in their cave, not really reaching out to anybody. This can be that. And again, it's all related to the work situation. It's all related to the turmoil. And sometimes people, when they're feeling depressed or feeling anxious, have a tendency not to talk to other people because, especially I think for us in the States, big time, American people, we always want to have, hopefully, I don't know about now, but it used to be, our characteristic was we always wanted to look at the bright side. We always wanted to be optimistic. and say, oh, everything's going great for me. How's it going for you? Well, when you're losing your job and you're not sure what your next job is going to be, it's hard to face people, because to say, oh, I don't know what I'm going to be doing, or I don't know if I have a job, my business is closing, the business I work for is closing, I don't know what's going to happen. So I think this is really what it's about right now. I don't see an issue with a partner, with a kid, or with anything else that is showing up to prevent the phone call from happening. What I'm seeing is the job is the issue, and the ending of the job. By the way, I'm just going to throw in another observation. I think in general that people in general, but in particular men, find a lot of identity in career. Women do too, to a certain extent, but we also have other things that we can make us feel like we've accomplished something. Having kids, having good friends, having a partner, those are things that sort of make us, in general, like I'm being very general about this, of course, but can make us feel like, yeah, I've got something going on, even if my career is kind of a little, but I've got all this other good stuff. I've raised good kids, or I've got a good partner, I have a cute house. I mean, there's lots of things that can give us that sense of value. But I think for men, it's like I have to be a success in career, and that can be a very defining thing for people with a masculine energy. So when we see that, yeah, I think I see that's what's going on. So I will say for you, the advice for you is also to be patient with this. He might be in his cave a little bit, and to be patient with that, like it's going to take some time. He's got to let things settle. He probably wants to, say like, oh, I've got a great new job. And if he doesn't have that job, which it doesn't look like with this, that he doesn't have that on the horizon, then he may be wanting to get that squared away before he does any socializing or hanging out, or doing all that fun stuff. How can you go socialize? It that costs money, and if you don't have a job, you're watching your pennies too. I think that's another aspect as well. Would you agree about the defining of oneself by a career? Maybe it's different in Ukraine, I don't know.
I think that you are absolutely right about the men, because our mentality is that we're hunters, and we're those who bring food to our families. Maybe it's not that bright in the United States, because I know that in your country, women also seek for a career very hard, and there is not that big difference between the role of a woman and the role of a man in the family. But Ukraine is more traditional country, and yes, mostly the men are those who are responsible for family budget, which means that our career is maybe even on the first place. Yeah, because
Yeah.
and the family is the second place, because we just don't have time to do this simultaneously. We have to
Yeah.
choose between work and family, and I am, as a workaholic, I can absolutely agree with this.
I also think that there is this aspect that's like, I think that women, or, with feminine energy, let's just say with feminine energy, there's a lot more things that we can, I would say, point to as a source of pride, right? It
Mhm.
could be the home, it could be how we appear, it could be, I'm not saying these things are right or good, but how we appear, our home, our friendships, our children, and our career. So if one of those, we've got a lot of ways to create our identity out in the world, or to feel that we get positive recognition and self-esteem from other people, going, oh my gosh, your home is so beautiful, your kids are so well behaved, or you're so beautiful. Those are things that also can give identity. Now, of course, ultimately, the ultimate spiritual goal is to get out of this idea that we have to fit into these models, or that we look to somebody to give us our self-worth. We are valuable no matter what we do, no matter what we have, no matter, we as humans, really, that is the higher spiritual concept here, is that we find our value just by being. There's nothing we have to accomplish or do or have or look like or anything. But culturally, we're so enculturated to think like, oh, as a masculine person, you have to be a success. And there's so much pressure. This is why I think, a future where there's no patriarchy is a great thing, because that means we don't have to fall into these things that put so much pressure on us. Be pretty, have a great job, have children, don't, have a big house or whatever. We don't have lots of things, So a lot of the reason people buy these excessive things is because they want someone to look at them and go, wow, you have a very expensive car. You are valuable because you have an expensive car. That's not,
As for me, this is terrible to live your days under this pressure. You should don't care about anyone except your close friends and family.
yeah. Well, or it's like, what is your
What they
character?
say, this
What your
is
character is,
very
what is
important.
important. Exactly, what your character is. It's not what you have, what you own, what you look like, your important title of your job, or any of those things. It is your character. Who are you when nobody's looking? Who are you when nobody is looking? That is who you really are. And that's what, as a spiritual person, focusing on is the most important thing. Who are you when nobody is looking?
This is why, by the way, I don't like Instagram too much, because I think its motto is to seem but not to be.
Yeah.
Very often people post here photos and videos that don't represent them as a personality. In fact, they just want to seem to the community very, very cool, very rich. All these rich restaurants. I hate the selfies in the toilets of the expensive restaurants. They just piss me off.
Literally piss you off. It's a toilet. But yeah, I think it's like, that is a superficial, it's a superficial thing, and it is what it is. But I do think that people can sense. I mean, people that are paying attention can sense when people are real and when they're fake, and they're just doing it for performative reasons. I think young people have to figure that out more than people that have been around the block a little bit, If you would like a reading too, we just did 2 beautiful readings. Oh, Devon. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Devon. Do you have a question? You want a question? You want a reading, Devon? Thank you so much, Devon.
Thank you. And I don't know this person, most
Yeah, I
likely.
do.
And thank you very much. And I offer you to friend me on Facebook so that I could tag you today in my graded post. I would like to do this for everyone.
Yeah,
But
some
for
people
example,
aren't on Facebook. Yeah.
Muggle 1983, I'm not sure she is my friend on Facebook. John Paul doesn't use Facebook as far as I know.
Yeah.
But guys, if you have an ability, please friend me. I would like to tag everyone.
Yeah, you could also friend Chu on Instagram. If you don't have Facebook, but you do have Instagram, you can go.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
But I tag only on Facebook. It's very convenient to do it here.
oh, John Paul did another accidentally process twice, so you have another question. Oh, thank you, John Paul. Duplicate purchase. Oh my gosh, you are so incredibly generous. All right, Devon, let me know if you have a question. You might be just making a donation, but if you have a question, I can do a reading for you. It'd be fun to do a reading. You could just do a general reading like John Paul, just to look at what's up ahead. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. All right, John Paul, we're going to do a general reading for you. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Thank you.
According to his last message, I think that he's interested in love questions. What
Yeah.
do you have here? A bottle?
A
Okay.
diamond, a candle.
How to quit drinking?
No, it's a candle. It's a candle.
Oh, candle. Okay.
It's a heart, a diamond, a candle, and cat with hard eyes. That's so cute. Yeah. I think he's just sending me things that are crystals and candles. That's what we like at Parlor of Wonders. And cats and love. We love it all. We love all of those things. All right.
Oh, I see.
Okay, okay. So Yvonne says John Paul says, Yvonne, I've gotten hacked on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook is really, there can be some shady stuff, but also on all the social media. I mean, it happens on Instagram too. If anybody says to you, "Oh, help me with my account. I just need you to help." Don't do it. Even if you think it's your friend, call up your friend and ask them, because it could be somebody with a fake account that looks like your friend. A lot of imposters there. All right, let's do a general reading for John Paul and what's going on. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Oh, now you added more things. So a heart and a crystal and a candle and a cat and
two bottles.
prayers and the champagne. He does like kava. Yes, I know you like kava. I like sparkling kava too. It's lovely. It's very like you're having a celebration. All right, so here's what I see for you. General reading, beautiful general reading. So Page of Cups comes up first. Page of Cups is a card about the heart being very open. I think of this as being very you, John Paul. This is really all about you. Very youthful, very fresh, very young, but also very heart-centered, compassionate, loving, caring, very attuned and sensitive in the good way, very empathic as well. Page of Cups is like young and fun, and the heart is like open. And there's also another part of this card that most readers don't really pay attention to, but it really comes forward for me. I love animals, and I love animals and plants. I'm really focused on animals and plants right now. And when we see this Page of Cups, he has a little fish in his cup, but like he and the fish are having a conversation. This is like a little bit like that story, the magic fish, you know, where the fisherman catches the fish. Oh, wine magic. Very interesting. Yeah, the cup, right? But the fish talks to the fisherman and gives him a wish, right? So I think about this like talking fish, like the two of them having a conversation. And I really think of this card is like you have like abilities to connect with the natural world. Let's just say that. Sparkling wine is fire energy. I love that. You have this ability to connect to the natural world in very magical ways. So it could be like talking to your plants or having a special animal companion, or connecting with nature in just beautiful and magical ways. So I love that aspect that's oftentimes ignored with the Page of Cups. So I think of this as very much your energy, very sweet, very loving, very open, very youthful, very fresh, very just all of those things. That's all about you. So if I were to say anything about that in terms of like a general reading for you, I mean, it's enough to say this is who you are, but it's like open up that gift, that you have. Open up those intuitive gifts that you have, because Page of Cups can be highly intuitive. This idea that you're thinking of working with wine magically, working with and looking at the kind of the magic of this ancient thing that people have made for thousands and thousands of years. The history of wine is actually very amazing when you research and learn about it. And thinking about how anything that is created naturally, which wine is created naturally, has a certain energy and a certain power. As you mentioned, like the sparkles, the bubbles have fire energy to them, right? A little bit of air energy too with those bubbles as well. Oh, and your Persian cat, Jessica. Exactly. You're connecting to your beautiful cat. Of course. Of course you are. All right. So think about like magic in nature, magic with natural things, magic with wine, magic with grapes. I mean, grape magic and all of that. Do you know in Ukrainian, I'm going to just throw out something that is just popped into my head. In Ukrainian magic, so part of Ukrainian magic is embroidery, right? So we have beautiful embroidered tops called vishivanki, which are the beautiful blouses and shirts that are with all the different symbols embroidered on them. And they look very beautiful. They look very cool and, you know, ethnic and cool and all of that. But each of those embroidery designs has a message and a meaning and a symbolism. And those embroideries are done not just to decorate something and make it pretty, although it does make it pretty, it is there as protection and blessings for the person who wears it, right?
Yeah, of course. Also, it's a statement.
A statement about where you're from, your village, where you're from, and all of that. So there is one. So the oldest symbols, of course, are the geometric symbols, the squares, the triangles, sort of circles, and those shapes. Those are the oldest design elements and ones that go back to trillion times, 7,000 years ago. We see spirals and things like that, these never-ending spirals. However, in the last like 200 years or so, more, I would say, realistic shapes have come in. Flowers that look like flowers,
Birds.
birds, oak leaves, things like this. Well, one of the symbols is the grape, the vinograd, right? Is the grape, the grapevine.
Yeah.
Vinograd stands for family. Just like all the little grapes are like a family. Oh, yes, of course. In Polish, yes, absolutely. Polish and Ukrainian culture are very similar, right? Eastern European stuff. So the grapes represent the family. So this is like such a beautiful thing to think about as you're working with your wine magic. Is like this, maybe this heritage, this legacy, the family line going on and on and on, and all of that, and the wine traditions going on and on. Something to think about. All right, your second card is Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about visioning the future, right? We see here an explorer guy. He's like ready to go out and explore the world. He's got a globe in his hands. He's making his plans for the future. Like he's looking over that water and he's got the globe and he's like, okay, I think I can sail around the world. I'm going to do this trip around the world. So I think of this as like having big plans for yourself. It doesn't mean necessarily taking action on those plans, not quite yet. It's the dreaming and scheming, the visioning of the plan. So I would say doing vision board work, doing any kind of visioning work, meditations, speaking or singing your future into being would be very good. And just start dreaming about it, planning how it's going to be, thinking about it. By the way, you guys, I got to tell you something. I was working all day on getting my class together for Sunday, which is about pendulum, working with the pendulum, but not just getting yes and no questions. We talk about that, the basics, the pendulum basics, but using the pendulum to empower your visions and your affirmations. It's really important. And you can use a pendulum to help with that. The pendulum workshop, you can join it. It's going to be on Sunday. It's a brand new workshop. Never have taught it before, but it is a kick butt workshop. I got to tell you guys, it is kick butt. So good. Such a good workshop. We talk about all, anyway, I'm thinking about this for you. If your vision isn't clear or you don't feel your vision, you can use a pendulum to empower your vision, to get to the place where you believe your vision. And I think that is really, really important. You can't say an incantation or say an affirmation or daydream about something and simultaneously go, it's never going to happen. Oh, that's so good. Been practicing the visualization. You have to believe that it's going to happen, and your pendulum will tell you whether or not you believe in it. And if you don't believe in it, you keep saying it until you do believe it, right? Just fake it till you make it. So same with the visualization. So that's a really good card to show up. All right. Justice card for you. This is about balance in your life, having balance in your life. I love that. You work very hard. You work hard. You take care of your family. You've got a lot on your plate, but it's also taking time out for you, treating yourself, doing nice things for yourself. I feel like this card is about the investment we make, right? If you invest in something, it's like putting coins into that scale, right? That she has off to the side there. You're investing in something and it's going to pay off. It's kind of like the cosmic slot machine. If you put coins in the slot machine, if you imagine like your thoughts, your words, everything, your spells and everything as being an investment, you're investing and to that slot machine, and the slot machine is going to pay off for you. So think about everything that you're doing and how it supports your good outcomes. How it supports your good outcomes. So good. So this is sometimes a card that's like, you got to sometimes wait for the outcome, right? You can't necessarily, especially in the bubbles of the kava, focusing on the moose crown and the bead rosary of the bubbles. Yeah. If you see that you put in that energy into something, you're going to receive something in return. Now, our last card in our general reading, Four of Cups. Here's that Four of Cups coming up again. Four of Cups shows this magical cup coming from off to the side, just appearing out of nowhere. Cups represent the heart. They represent love. They represent the emotions. So what I see is something really good for you in terms of relationship, in terms of love, but it's not like you should be going and chasing it. It's almost like it's a butterfly that's going to come and land on you, right? This is a little bit like a magical butterfly coming and landing on your shoulder. And you're like, what? There's a butterfly on me. But if you chase the butterfly, if you chase the bird, if you chase the rabbit, it's going to run away from you. You got to wait for it to come to you. So it's a little bit of like this patience and investing in something in the magical part, and then having something land on your shoulder, just as delightful as a butterfly. So anything you want to throw in, Yvonne?
No, I'm just trying to understand what you said. I mean, in terms of my life, because everyone, every time that you do your tarot session, I try to wear the shoes on myself.
Yeah. There's great wisdom in the cards. I'm telling you, I've been around these cards for 49 years. Nuclear magenta isn't the Four of Cups about refusal. It can be about refusal, but let me tell you something. If you've been around the cards for 49 years, each of these cards has a complete story around it. And no card means the same thing in every reading. This is why I will tell you why AI will never replace tarot readers. I don't care how good AI gets, it is never going to replace a human who has intuition. They have not invented yet, and they never will invent a computer that can be intuitive, that can be spiritual. There's no AI that can be spiritual. There's no AI that can be intuitive. And that's why if you go to a website, which I find fun, like you go to a website, they have one on llewellyn.com, they have one at tarot.com, and you ask a question and you type in your question, and it pulls the cards for you and it does a reading. But what is that computer doing? It's spitting out an answer that is programmed, right? Somebody said, this card means this. And so it says the same thing to all 10 people who get that card that day. All 100 people get the same message. Do you know when I do a reading for someone, never is it the same message? Why? Because each card has a whole story. And I look at all of the possibilities of that card and intuitively choose the one that is coming down to me, that makes sense in relation to the other cards that are next to it. A computer, even the best computer, even the most advanced AI cannot be intuitive. So sometimes the Four of Cups means refusal. Sometimes the Four of Cups means be grateful for what you got. Sometimes the Four of Cups says you're missing out on something. Sometimes the Four of Cups says you're bored. So are all those, if you look at the Four of Cups in 20 different tarot books, you're going to see 20 different definitions for what that card means. I'm guaranteed. I teach tarot. So one of the exercises that I teach is we look at different versions of a definition of a card, and they're wildly different. Can they all be right? Absolutely. But they're going to be all right, not in one reading. You're going to pull this message and that message and the other message, right? So, yeah. So there you go. Okay, Devon. So that's not meant to say that you're wrong. You're right in that meaning, that it can mean refusal. But that's only one of dozens and dozens of meanings of that card. And it didn't come forward for me. It didn't make sense in context of the reading. So, yeah. All right. Devon, a general. Okay. Thank you so much, Devon. Thanks so much for your comments, you guys. I love having these conversations with you about tarot and the meaning of cards. So keep them coming. If you have something you're like wanting to add to the conversation, do it. Go into chat. I'd love to hear from you. All right. So Devon, can I just say a little shady thing before we do your thing, Devon? So there's a funny thing. I once did a reading for a public reading, and it was recorded, and it was for a celebrity, but it was recorded. Okay, so did the reading, answered their question. The question that they wanted to know was about their child. So I can read about their child, right? And I read about their child. Child is a little baby. Like what can you read for a baby? Sometimes people ask that question, and what you're reading is like, what is the baby's personality going to be like? What do you need to know as a parent about your child, and what can help your child to thrive, right? Baby doesn't have wishes or desires for anything except for a bottle and a pacifier and a diaper change, right? So they're not going to have a reading, right? But if someone asks about their child, it's like, oh, how can you meet that child where they are and make that child thrive is really the question they're asking. So I did a reading for this person about their child. Well, 3 years passed, 4 years passed. This person that I did the reading for had a scandal in their life, public scandal. So somebody comes in and goes, oh, I'm going to take that reading that Madame Pamita did, and I'm going to read those cards in light of the scandal. And I'm like, that wasn't the question. A, that wasn't the question. B, that's not what they asked about. So why are you taking these cards out of context? And then number 3, that really killed me, they're saying this person who is at best an amateur reader was saying, oh, that's not what that card means about what I said. I'm like, really? I've been around the cards 49 years. I've written a book about tarot, and you're telling me what the cards mean? I don't think so. I don't think so. I just laughed. I'm like, oh my God, it's ridiculous. It's just people wanting to get, views. And so they recycle other people's content so that they create a controversy. I didn't reply to their thing or even acknowledge it. But the point of that is that all cards have lots of meanings. I would never say publicly about somebody, oh, that's not what that card means, because you can find books that say that that's what the card means. There's anything you want a card to mean, you can probably find a book that will tell you it means that. All right, Devon, we're going to look at your general reading. Thank you so much, Devon. Thank you so much, John Paul. Thank you so much, Muggle 1983. Thanks to all of you for being here and watching and hanging out with us. All right, let's see what we got here. Feeding grannies today. Cute little Ukrainian grannies. They're so cute. Oh my gosh. I have to find out who that granny was that was kissing the bread. That she's like a model, supermodel, supermodel granny.
It's a great small video.
It's so cute. Yeah. All right. She looks like my grandma. Okay. Here's what we got here for you. Look at you, Devon. You also got Page of Cups showing up. Page of Cups, lovely, fresh emotions, sweetness, kindness. You know, John Paul and Devon, you both have this quality about you. It's like just kind-hearted, loving, caring. It's such sweet energy. You know, I almost think of this card as like the little boy in the Six of Cups, which I should find the Six of Cups and show you what I mean when I say that. Very loving, very giving, very sweet. He's giving a cup with a flower in it, not a fish in it, a flower in it, to a little girl. And it's like that open-hearted child energy. You know, Yvonne has a son, Danielle, and Danny. Do you remember when he was little, like 3 and 4 years old?
Of course.
What did he do with his friends? If he saw his friend at the playground, what did he do?
As far as I remember, he tried to hug them first of
Exactly.
all.
Exactly. Little kids, there's so many cute videos. Here's the card I'm looking for. There's so many cute videos of little kids like running up and hugging their friend, right? And then they start to think, oh, I have to be cool. I don't want to be, you know, so they start to act with like somebody's looking at them. But a little 3-year-old, 4-year-old doesn't care if anybody's looking, right? They dance like nobody's looking. They sing like nobody's looking. They hug like nobody's looking. We can learn a lot from a 3-year-old. We really can. I think of this Page of Cups being a lot like this little boy who's giving the flower to the little girl. It's very loving, very open, and very authentic and real. And I think of that energy when I think of Page of Cups. The emotions are all on the table. The heart is shown. The caring and giving and loving is out. It's not, oh, I can't do that because I have to be cool, right? This is a kid, so he's open, right? So Devon, both you and John Paul, I see that quality in you. Really, this is so lovely. Again, Page of Cups can mean we're very open. So it can mean also a vulnerability there. But your vulnerability sometimes can be your superpower, right? You don't have to worry about what other people think of you. And if you're vulnerable and real, it can really be a superpower. How do you turn that into a superpower? That's your mission for both of you, I think, to figure out how do I turn my kindness, my love, and my care and my loving heart into my superpower. If people don't, the people that want your love will receive that love with such gratitude, such genuine gratitude, and you'll bring more love into the world. That's what it is. I really see you as this. Oh my gosh, so playful and fun. Devon's a Gemini, by the way, playful as can be. Just playful, like a little fairy. That's how I think of my Geminis, my gems. All right, next card is Knight of Pentacles. You have a vision and a dream. That's that gold coin in your hand, the vision and the dream. Take steps every day, step by step. You're going to get there, right? You're going to get to your vision and your dream. Oh, Devon, you're so cute. You are those little hard eyes. This is like step by step to get to your dream. You're going to get there. Don't feel this is maybe a problem for air signs like Gemini. Fire signs, for sure, it's a problem, is like patience. Like the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. You know that saying, right? So take those steps every day. What's one thing that you can do to feed your dream? Every day, do something to feed your dream. Like I have on a related note, I have a thing, do one thing for Ukraine every day. That's my thing. I do one thing for Ukraine every day. Some days it's I like a post. Some days it's I share a post. Some days it's I create something about Ukraine. Some days I sit and I raise money for Ukrainian seniors. But I'm not saying that because I'm tooting my horn. I'm just saying that's my personal mission. That's what I care about. That's what I feel is important. And so I make an effort to do one thing every day. Some days it's a big thing. Some days it's a little tiny thing. But every day I'm doing one thing. to help Ukraine get to victory, right? Super important for me. Your dream, Devon, your dream is really important too. And so every day, take one little step toward that dream. It doesn't have to be a big one. Doesn't have to be a big one. It could be writing down an affirmation. It could be doing some Googling to find some information. It could be going out and checking out things. It could be talking to somebody about your dream. So you get to decide, but I would say to you, maybe time to make a commitment in that way. Maybe you're already doing it. I mean, it could be that you're already doing it. You know, I haven't asked you about that lately, so I don't know. Next card for you is Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is take a risk. Risks lead to rewards. Now, I don't mean a risk like do something crazy or dangerous. Those are risky, but that's not the kind of risk I'm talking about. I'm talking about the risk of like, I'm here and what I want is over there, and there's a gap, and it feels a little scary to do that thing, right? Do you have a comment on that, Yvonne?
No.
Oh.
I'm listening.
I thought you raised your hand. But it's like you have that vision or that dream, and it may require you to get out of your comfort zone. That's really what the risk is, getting out of the comfort zone. So the challenge, the message for you, Devon, is how can I take a risk? How can I get out of my comfort zone to achieve what I want, or to get to my dream, or to get to my goal, or to make my life more of what I want to make it? It means get out of your comfort zone. Just like you spin the wheel, like the spinning the wheel is like the idea of like the wheel is like luck, right? Taking a chance. But I get the sense with everything that's surrounding it, for sure, this is not a bad risk. This is not a bad, ill-advised risk. We'd see all kinds of other things around if we said, oh, you're being too risky, or don't take a risk right now. But this is saying take those risks. Get out of your comfort zone. Do something that furthers your goals. It's something to really think about. It's really something to think about there. Lastly, we have Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands showing up with like wonderful passion, enthusiasm, and taking action. Queen of Wands, she's sitting, but she's ready for getting up and going. Fire energy, motivation, action, doing a thing. So for you, as opposed to the reading we just had for John Paul, was like, do your visioning and your dreaming and feed your vision. For you, it's take the action. This is the phase that you're in your life right now. Be creative. That's the other thing. She's highly creative when we look at that. Taking action, doing the thing, being creative, bringing motivation and passion and excitement and enthusiasm and optimism. That's the recipe right there. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Devon. Oh my gosh, you're the best. You guys are all the best. Oh, Adrija's here.
Hello, Adrija. Hello.
I haven't seen you in a long time, Adrija. I'm glad
Yeah,
to see you.
at least 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while. Go ahead and let me know how much you donated and where you donated and what your question is. Oh, thank you so much, Adrija. That's wonderful. Okay. All right. So we're going to find out. Thank you so much for your donation. All right. We're talking to this guy. I'm talking to this guy, H. Do you think he's serious about me? Okay. Let's see. I've been traveling. Oh, that's why we missed you. We missed you. Okay. Let's see what's going on with H. I like this. I see some good possibilities here. The one thing that I see is that you have to communicate more, possibly more directly with each other, you with him and him with you. We have the Five of Wands, and Five of Wands can sometimes be like we have two different plans, or we have two different agendas, or we don't know what the other person is thinking. And I think that's what's going on for the two of you right now. He doesn't know what you're thinking. You don't know what he's thinking. And at some point, a conversation will happen where you guys get to talk about what is on your mind. It may be too soon right now to do that. But I think there's a little bit of that mystery, and may even be a little bit of crossed wires sometimes, um, like, oh gosh, I've been reading this story about this boy and girl. It's a romance story, Dash and Lily, and they made it into a movie. It was a cute Christmas movie, and they have they're sending messages to one another, and they're making assumptions. This means this, or that means this. Usually, what do? We go, oh, they didn't call me. They don't like me anymore, right? But we assume the worst sometimes when things aren't bad at all. They didn't call because they were with their family, or they were traveling, right? Or they were, the phone ran out of battery. There can be lots of reasons why, something happens. So it's really about getting clarity about intention with something, and not just jumping to a conclusion. I think that's the main message. You want to say something?
No, I'm fully agree. I'm fully agree. We often imagine the worst things.
Right? Yeah. Especially when we're being vulnerable and we're putting our heart out there, and we're thinking about a relationship, and then we feel afraid and all those things. So we can jump to bad conclusions. I see some very good positive things. No, I don't see any other people in this. There's no other people showing up, but I do think it's a little bit of cross communication. So just don't jump to the bad conclusions. Get clarity, find out, ask what's going on, be direct. If it feels comfortable, do it in a way that isn't like you're interrogating someone. That's no good. But just like, oh, hey, you know what works for this? Oh, this is the brilliant thing. Brene Brown's concept, not my concept, but it's so brilliant. She says, even in her long-term relationship with her partner, with her husband, she says, I use this phrase rather than jumping to conclusions. And she'll say, the story I'm making up about this is da, 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 which is like, oh, the story I'm making up about the reason you didn't text me right away is that you're upset with me. Rather than saying something like, are you upset with me? Why didn't you text me? Right? She says, the story I'm making up about you not texting me is that you're upset with me. You're mad at me. Your feelings are hurt. This gives a beautiful ease and grace and space for the other person to go, oh, no, that's not what's happening. Because you yourself are acknowledging that you might be making up the story. It's such a magical phrase, because it automatically, instead of making it a confrontation, it acknowledges that you don't have all the information, but yet this is what you're thinking. And it gives space for the other person to say, oh, no, that's not what happened. My phone ran out of battery, and that's why I didn't text you right away. My phone was locked in my car and I forgot about it, or, I turned off my phone, whatever, right? They can tell you what is going on, but without feeling like you're jumping to a conclusion and they're being accused of something, right? In other words. So maybe that's the thing, the ticket here. I see some beautiful connection between the two of you. We have the Temperance card. Temperance card is soul connection. So a person in your soul group, there's definitely something blessed about this. There's another aspect of the Temperance card, and that is be patient with it. That really shows up again too with the hanged one card. Hangman card is all like, can be about like waiting, or things being like just like this for a while. They're just hanging around. They're not moving backward or forward or anything. They're just staying at this level. And with that Temperance card, which can often mean to be patient, right? But you will get to your goal. There's the crown in the sky. There's the journey of the pathway up to that. So I would say to you, it's like, yeah, this relationship, might be like this and not moving forward, but not moving backward, but just staying here. And there may be some reasons. If you don't know what the reasons are, this is a good time to ask. You know, the story I'm making up about this is you're not that interested in me. And H may have a reply for you. Oh, no, that's not what it is. It's such and such and such. So that could be a good phrase to use. Try and make that part of your conversation. I do see that he's planning a future. He's looking at the future. He looks positively at the future with you. So there's a good vision, but there's no action yet, right? There's no movement, but the thought is positive. The vision is positive. The idea is positive, and there is a thought of the future and a plan for the future. So maybe it's just too soon for the action to be taken, for that step to be taken. Likewise, I don't know how far the two of you live apart. The chariot cards can sometimes represent like traveling back and forth to see one another. That could be part of it, you know, that why you're feeling this insecurity or nervousness or curiosity about this, whatever emotion you're feeling about it. Also, chariot card can represent a partnership where the two of you are pulling together. So this is a wonderful card for like having a team player or somebody who's a teammate. So I do love that as well. So as I said, things look positive in general. I do think communication has to be cleaned up a little bit, or that you're not at cross purposes, that you're both on the same page, but clarifying that shouldn't feel like an interrogation. Should be, you know, something that is very gracious, very graceful, and so on. And also be patient with it, because it might have to have some runway for some reasons, and maybe the distance is part of the reason, or having a long distance relationship is part of the reason, and maybe that's part of it. So is that making any sense, Drija? Do you have any questions about that? We'll see them come up. If anybody else wants a reading, we are doing readings for donations, $10 per card. 100% of the proceeds go to feed Ukrainian seniors. We are partnering with the wonderful Ivan Subotin, right? Did I say it right this time? And he is in Kyiv, and he and his small team, very grassroots, small team, buy groceries. They buy healthy, good, really good food that's, you know, ingredients for cooking, and deliver them to seniors who are in struggling just to feed themselves. The stories, I mean, I've heard so many of these stories. They're heartbreaking, a lot of the stories. Yeah, long distance. I think that is part of it, Adrija. It's like when there's long distance, you have to do the communication. You know, you have to be clear, but also, you know, it makes it harder, especially in a new relationship. It makes it harder. So you have to like share a little bit more. You be a little bit more vulnerable. And also, I think a good, gracious way of bringing it up is that way, that Brene Brown trick. Yeah, so we're feeding seniors in Ukraine, $10 per card, $40 feeds a senior for 2 weeks. If you can believe it, it's pretty amazing. With good, healthy food, basic food, but good, healthy food, and sometimes a little treat, sometimes a little medicine. You're helping in a lot of ways, bringing them what they need.
Don't forget about communication, which is sometimes no less important than food.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. And when you go and visit, you and your team go and visit these seniors, they feel loved and cared for. They don't feel isolated. It's like the way when someone's suffering, sometimes we can't fix it for them, right? You know, it could be a disease, it could be a grief and a loss, it could be they're in a war zone. I can't stop the bombs. I wish I could. I would do everything if I could stop those bombs, but I can't stop the bombs. I can do what I can, pressure my political representatives and make sure they keep helping Ukraine and all of that. But me, myself, what I can do is walk beside my Ukrainian brothers and sisters and people living in Ukraine and hold their hands and tell them I'm here and I see you, and I do what I can to help. And sometimes I think when we're suffering, someone can't take away our suffering, but just knowing that we're not alone and suffering. And you're doing that for your seniors who are suffering, but
It's
you
better to suffer in a company than alone.
exactly. When you're alone and you have nobody, it feels very scary. But if you know that somebody is seeing you and somebody is looking out for you, I think that's another thing, just some of these seniors don't have children or anybody looking out for them. I know that's sometimes the story. They've lost their kids or, they never had kids. Oh, Adrija, thank you so much. Just let me know how much and what the question is. Ah, okay. Present and future. And how many cards? I need to know how many cards. So I think, the fact that you're checking in on them makes them feel loved. I have a feeling my cat's outside. Okay. Oh, thank you. Let me look at the past and future. Hold on one second. I think my cat's out there. Linda? Linda? False alarm. She's my hunter. All of a sudden she has a new hobby. like she's gone completely, she's good at it too. Oh my gosh, but it's not a pleasant thing. I'm always opening the door going, I hope she doesn't have anything in her mouth or present for me. All right. So let's see. You want present and future. Can you put the question up again, please, Buchanan? Love Witch. Thank you. I can see it again. Adrija's. Thank you. Glinda's channeling her inner Diana for sure. Oh my gosh. She's like a wild huntress. She's really good. I mean, present and future with this relationship with age. Okay, great. Leave that up, please. All right. Yeah, I just want to say one thing about my cat. I saw her chasing a little rabbit. I was like chasing her. She was chasing the rabbit. I was trying to stop her from chasing the rabbit. She runs like a cheetah. I mean, she does that full like gallop. Like I was like, oh my gosh, so fast. She caught a rabbit. That's not an easy thing to do. So anyway, okay, so let's look at Adrija's question. Present and future of this relationship. We're going to be finishing up soon. If you want a reading, make sure that you get your donations in. Let me know in the comments that you made a donation, and we'll do a reading for you. $10 per card. 100% of the proceeds go to help Ukrainian seniors. Oh, oh my goodness. Well, here's what I got here. I think there may be, you asked the question, you asked a very interesting question, Adrija. Is there someone else? I don't think there's anybody present, but you are very intuitive and you may be sensing a past relationship that is still painful because we have 3 of Swords showing up. I don't get that there's anybody in the present, but I get that there's maybe a hesitation. This totally makes sense. Because when people have had their heart broken in the recent past, or it feels very fresh to them, it doesn't have to be recent, but it feels fresh to them, they're very slow to get into a new relationship. And that's what the slowness is coming from. That's what the slowness is. So that's why it's got this energy. And that's the card I got again for the future, which is like, it's going to be like this for a little while, because I think time has to pass so that hearts can mend. It could be your heart, his heart, both your hearts. He had a breakup. Yes, that's why it's slow. So now that you know, I always say, are you running a sprint or are you running a marathon? There's 2 different strategies, right? What's the strategy, Yvonne, if you're running a sprint? You know a sprint?
Of course,
100 meters.
I just don't know anything about the strategy. I just need to be fast. This is it.
You go like my cat. You just go like a cheetah. You go really fast. You go as fast as you can because you only have 100.
I wanted to say that there is no strategy for sprint, but there is. You should have a strategy for a marathon.
What's the difference between a marathon strategy?
You have to think about how to save your energy, where should you be faster, where should you calm down, to save the energy until the end of the distance.
That's
So
right.
it takes much more brain than a sprint.
Well, we say in English, you pace yourself, right? You don't go as full on 100% fast because
Mhm.
you won't be able to do 26 miles that way. I don't know what it is in kilometers. 50 kilometers, 40, 50,
42.
42 kilometers. You're not going to run 42 kilometers at the full pace of a sprint. Nobody can do that. You have to go, you have to pace yourself so you can go the whole distance. So, Adrija, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. So, let's let things go slowly with this person. Make sure it's slow. Don't spend too many days talking to them. Maybe talk to them once or twice a week. I would say that is more pacing it so that you're not rushing to the end, because right now he's still dealing with the pain of his breakup. You yourself might be dealing with pain of past relationship too. So to give yourselves time to heal and give yourself that time so that you can have the success, because that's what I was seeing in the other reading. It's like this is really like not going away, but it's not going up. And the fact that it's not moving forward may make you feel insecure. Why isn't it moving forward? Well, this is the reason why it's not moving forward, because there's heartbreak that has to be healed before he feels ready, or maybe even you feel ready. So there you go. All right, you guys, last call for readings. I have to eat dinner. It's 8:30. I haven't had dinner yet. I want to relax. It's been great hanging out with you. Oh, Devon says, Madam Pemita, thank you for your insight and guidance and your heart. You share so freely, so appreciated. Yvonne, thank you for giving the opportunity to help feed the grannies. Please send them hugs. That's
I
that
will.
little kid. Devon, you're just like a little beautiful, open-hearted little kid. That's what I say. John Paul says, thank you, Aunt Pam, for my beautiful readings. You guys are the sweetest. It's the best little club we have here. We got a small but mighty group. Adrija, thank you. You guys are amazing. You guys are my like dream team here tonight. It was good seeing you both. It's my dream team here tonight. Adrija says, I saw your guitar video. Yeah, Adrija, we played it at the top of the show tonight. We played that video. Should we play it again one more time for everybody?
No, I think that everyone can visit silent shelters and see it by yourself,
Okay,
by
so
himself.
Buchanan, if you can put the silence, there we go. Thank you so much. That's where you go to see Yvonne's video, and you can see it there. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. You guys are the best. I mean, I put out an intention to attract the best, most wonderful, amazing, magical people into my life, and it works. I'm telling you, it works, because look at you all here. Yvonne, all of you guys, Muggle, let's see, Muggle 1983, John Paul, Devon, Adrija, everybody else that stuck around and watched. You guys are all amazing. You're all magical. You're all amazing.
And we have 240 today. This is enough for, oh, thank you, Jean Paul. This is enough for 6 grannies. And also I have another donations overnight.
Wonderful.
So
Have a
yeah,
good day today.
and not bad. I should tell that that means that there will be no less than 9, maybe even 10 grannies. I still didn't calculate.
Okay, so we have, 240. That's a good day. That's a good day. We did all right. Good job, everybody. Thank you so much for your generous and wonderful donations. We're going to be feeding lots of cute little seniors. Yes, like and subscribe if you haven't, and push that notification bell so you get a little notification when we do a live. We do this live every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Mountain, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sundays, we do our Magical Mystery Marketplace live stream. And that takes place at 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. That is our Witchy QVC. It's super fun, super interactive. We talk to you guys. You guys leave your comments, and we throw things out there. And we show you some, I bring on my amazing colleagues. We show you some cool products. The next one of those is going to be happening August 20th. it's not going to be happening to August 20th. So that's why I want you guys to subscribe. Push the subscribe button and push that notifications bell so you know when we go do these live things. All right. Have a great evening, everyone. Have a great morning, Yvonne. I will send you that money right away so you can go buy your groceries today. Thank you so much to the Love Witch Buchanan, the producer behind the scenes, making it all happen. You're amazing. All right, everybody, have a great day or a great night, and we'll see you next week. We're going to be doing this again next week. We'll see you then. Bring your questions,
Till
bring your
soon,
dollars, and bring your
guys.
questions. All right, Yvonne, take care. Bye, everybody.